Welcome to the Release to Shine podcast. I'm your host, Megan Wade. And today we have with us Emily McHugh, an award-winning author and founder of the tech and travel accessories design company, Casauri. She is also the author of The Little Girl's Guide to Entrepreneurship. What I know now that I sure wish I knew then. And this book is available on Amazon. The link will be below. Her book is based on lessons learned as an entrepreneur, including the highs and lows, the ups and downs. From this experience, she launched her Supercharge coaching practice and is known as the Supercharge coach. She helps entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs to build sustainable businesses without burnout. To further help entrepreneurs, Emily launched the Supercharge Club to provide a supportive community to guide entrepreneurs along their entrepreneurial journey. We also have a link for you to join her club. I am a member of that club and I encourage you to join. Now, we're focusing on mindset is everything. And my first question to Emily is, what is your understanding of mindset is everything?
Well, my understanding of mindset is everything is that it indeed, as its name denotes, it is absolutely everything. And Megan, I'm thrilled to be on here with you today. Thank you for this opportunity to be in this beautiful space, Release to Shine. And it's like a place where we're just going to glow and let the sun shine through. And that's really the goal, that anyone's listening, they'll feel that ray of light just beaming in their direction. And it all starts with your mind and your approach, your attitude, how you look on life, how you look at yourself, how you allow yourself to be presented in the world. So your mindset is what directs that. Do you think positive things of yourself? Do you think negative things? Do you think you're capable? Do you think you're incapable? And which of those it is, as they say, if you think you can or you can't, you're right. So decide which way, because the decision is yours. So that is really key to that.
Thank you, Emily. How does this title fit with the work you do with your clients?
Well, I have as a tagline in my book that entrepreneurship is a mindset. So I start off with that whole concept of mindset from the get-go. And working with clients is that it's all about people's belief structure, kind of going back to what I just finished saying and highlighting the point that it is so rooted in your thought process. Mm-hmm. And many times we limit ourselves because we have all kinds of preconceived notions and self-limitations. And you'd be surprised when you increase your awareness and your mindfulness of what you're thinking, you'll soon realize, you're like, wait a minute, I might be limiting my own self, as opposed to saying it's because of this or because of that. It's because of me. And you have to take responsibility. We all have to take responsibility for what we think about ourselves and the role we're playing in, what we're bringing to the fore.
Absolutely. Can you paint a picture of what this should mean to our audience? And our audience are individuals who are seeking employment, some of whom have been released from jobs and they believe it's because of their age, and others have felony records and feel that society has rejected them. Paint a picture of how this mindset, what it should mean to this group of individuals.
The first picture, I want to have a big banner over this picture. And the banner states, no excuses. No excuses. I don't care where you're coming from. I don't care how old you are, young you are, what kind of record you had in the past, whatever you may or may not have done. Adopt the mentality of no excuses. So what does that mean? That means that you're not going to default to a preset notion in your thought process that, oh, it's because of this I can't move forward. Oh, it's because of this I can't achieve that. No, it could jolly well be, but you need to stop giving yourself that narrative. Someone else may have that narrative, but it doesn't have to be yours. And your goal and your objective is to change the narrative. First, start changing it internally, and then others will see it differently too, because you have to train society how to receive you. And this may sound a little bit slightly esoteric, like how do you train society? Well, you train them by starting with how you refer to yourself, how you identify yourself, how you call yourself. And this picture includes the word I am. So no excuses, then I am. And whatever goes after the I am, be very, very careful what that word is. Is it something that lifts you up, or is it something that holds you back? So you can go out and say, I am an ex-con. No, you're not an ex-con. You are a person that now has something to offer. No ex-con, that is not who you are. Okay, so those are the kind of labels you got to get rid of. Oh, I'm over 50 or I'm over 60. No, that's not who you are. That's just an age. That's not an identity. You are someone who has something valuable to offer. So it is that reframing of the narrative in your mind, being clear on your identity or re-identifying yourself, and not allowing yourself to fall into a box of a label that it's easy for someone to check off. You redefine yourself.
Thank you for that mouthful. Is it possible to totally avoid negative thoughts?
No. Oh, is that a question or is that follow-up?
Yes, that's a question. Is it possible to totally avoid negative thoughts?
I think because we live in a crazy world, it is kind of impossible to totally avoid negative thoughts. But what we can do is make a concerted effort to minimize them. And when they continually come into our mind, confront them and say, okay, why does this keep lodging in my head? Why does this recurring thought keep playing in my mind? Let me address it and really confront it head on. So instead of just accepting it as, oh, that's just how it has to be, no, we're going to challenge that negative thought and see what you can do to make it work for you, to make it become positive or at least beneficial in some way.
Thank you. What steps should one going through a period of unemployment take?
Okay, so the optimal word you just used there is a period. Okay, it's not permanent. It is not a way of life. Again, it's a part of your identity. And we all go through these phases in life. Don't just think it's you one out there having a struggle or no one else has ever had a challenge. Every human being on the face of the earth, I don't care what background they come from, has had at some point or another some challenge. Okay, so that is a fact. But if you are at this time unemployed, you want to be very proactive. Use this time proactively. Do your research. The first thing you're doing is listening to this podcast, which is an excellent thing to do because you're exposing yourself to positive thoughts. You're exposing yourself to positive energy, to encouragement, and to resources that can help to move you forward. So that's one first thing. So that's congratulations on that. And then sharing this with your friends and sharing it with other people who could benefit is also a positive thing. Because what happens is when you share positivity with others, they're now going to come back and share it with you. So that's one. Expose yourself to positive resources and messaging. Number two, surround yourself with people who can also do that, make you have a positive impact. Let people know that you're looking for a job. This is a big deal. Tell any and everybody, I'm looking for a job and ideally, I'd like this type of a job. And I know from personal experience that has had a major impact on me, because I remember when I was in college, I was looking for a summer internship. And I wasn't having much luck finding luck. Let me not use the word luck. I don't believe in that word. I'm going to scratch that. I wasn't having much success, if you will, finding an internship. And I was getting kind of discouraged. It was my freshman year. And I'm like, I'm going to spend the summer doing nothing or whatever. And I mentioned to a friend of mine, just casually, that I'd love an internship where I can use my French. And she said, because I was a French and Spanish major in school, she said, I have the perfect internship for you. She said, call such and such a person in New York and it was a French bank. And from there, that became my career. I launched a career in banking from that one casual conversation. So let people know and do your research. You have the internet available, research opportunities. Just put yourself out there, get your resumes together. Again, you're here with Ms. Megan Wade. She is your career resource person and other resources that you may have in the communities where you may live. Take full access and throw yourself in it. Make it a full-time job to find a job.
Thank you for that. There are individuals, however, who are stuck in that place of fear. Fear is real. And some of our job seekers are afraid to put themselves out there. And I know you've given us some good tips. Share something else that can help that fearful person to put that right foot forward and keep going.
You know, you use the word foot. You know what you do with fear? You kick it. That's what you do. And you may have heard of the term, you know, fear is false evidence appearing real. And I wholeheartedly prescribe to that definition. I really do, to that acronym. False evidence. And as a matter of fact, I don't even want to say the word evidence because it's not evident, but it's false, appearing real. And most fear is exactly that. It's in your head. It's your problem, your mental hang up, nobody else's. And so, but it is real. It is real. And so by such, not to diminish the impact that it has, because it holds people back and it can impede them from going forward. So how do you overcome it? Number one, you identify it, that yes, it's a challenge. I'm afraid of this. Then ask yourself, why? Why am I afraid? What's making me afraid? What's making me fearful? Well, because I'm not accustomed to it, because I'm afraid of being judged, because I don't feel qualified, because I don't feel competent, because people are going to judge me. And then list it. Go ahead, make the list, go on and on with it. And then now go back down the list and say, okay, I'm a fear of being judged. Okay, you're going to stop someone from judging you? No, you can't. Boom, check that off. Get rid of that fear. Oh, I don't feel prepared. Well, go get prepared or get as prepared as you can. Or launch with what you got and don't use that as an excuse to not go forward. You can acquire skills. If you need a skill, try to work on it. Now, I know that there are real challenges that people face, and especially when it comes to the felony background or a record of such. And in our society, there are lots of roadblocks put up really high to make it very difficult to jump over them. Definitely. So what I say is, no matter how high the obstacle is raised against you, you know what that means? You have to climb higher. Yes, it might be harder. Yes, it might be more challenging, but once you've adopted the no excuses mentality, you don't care how high they put the bar, you're going to climb it. And when you have that mindset, you find yourself achieving your goals and the fear starts to diminish. And you may still feel afraid because it's all new, but you're going to feel braver and overcome one fear, braver for the next thing and the next thing.
Thank you, Emily. I appreciate that answer. Now, how can your services help some of these job seekers? Because I know there are many of them with entrepreneurial thoughts. How can your services assist?
Well, I believe that everybody should explore some kind of entrepreneurial opportunity. Whether you work for someone or not is not really the point. It is a way of thinking. Like, how can I be more innovative? How can I be more creative? What solutions can I solve? And taking the initiative, because entrepreneurship is about initiative. You see something and you want to address it. That's really what it boils down to, whether it's your business or someone else's business. So that is really the mindset. So what can they do? My services, well, they can get my book. That would be a start. And you might even find it at your local library. So you can get it on Amazon or go get it at a library. The Little Girl's Guide to Entrepreneurship, not just for little girls, by the way. So if you're a big old man, it doesn't matter. You can still benefit from the book, or an older person. And when you get the book, you'll know why it's called The Little Girl's Guide. But anyhow, but it has lessons. So that's one. I also have my free YouTube channel at Supercharge Coach. People can follow. I do a lot of videos to encourage people with different things of thinking, mindset, and so on. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, there's so many things to expose yourself to. But I do offer my coaching, as Megan mentioned, and my Supercharge Club is that community for $7 a month. It's very accessible, very affordable for people. And that's the whole point, to make it affordable to high quality information or high quality resources. But the first thing I would say to someone, don't talk yourself out of it. Because if you have this idea lingering in your mind, it's there for a reason, and it's not to be ignored. And just because you don't have all the answers or don't know all the steps doesn't mean you can't take the first one. And the first one is to at least make a move in a direction, and the next step will take you further. So I know that's a whole lot of different things, but the whole point is take the first step of inquiring, asking, reaching out, and then you'll move from there.
Thank you, Emily. Thanks for being here. And I have one final question. Is there anything at all that you might not have shared that you would like to share with our viewer or listeners and our viewers?
Everybody is full of potential. There is no one out there listening who doesn't have potential. There's no one listening who doesn't have something really important to bring to the table or to offer the world, or some difference you can make. And many times we may think of ourselves, oh, I'm not important, I'm not special, I didn't achieve this, so I can't do that, or who am I to? No, again, we're going to start right where we began today with the mindset. What I want you to know is that whatever God has put into you, you are fearfully and wonderfully made for a reason. And that's to fulfill the purpose you have here on earth. And if you don't know what the purpose is, you need to start praying and ask God to kind of guide you, to show you. But I think deep down, we all know, but we might be afraid to acknowledge what it is. And so I encourage you to not allow fear to hinder you becoming the maximum person that you possibly can become. And really have that faith in yourself, faith in God, number one, but faith in the creator that made you to be productive, that made you to be successful in different ways that can manifest itself, and not to minimize your impact and not to minimize your importance, and go forth and conquer. Yeah. Supercharge.
On that note, we want to thank Emily once more, Supercharge coach, mentor, author, entrepreneur. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I know our listeners have learned, they have gained some insights from our discussion today. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you. My pleasure.